All right, welcome in. It is Tuesday. It's time for another edition of Total Bases. Of course, it's $5 Tuesday. That means at WagerTalk today, pretty much every play is going to be $5. And that's every handicap around the site. The World Cup is going on right now. We have a bunch of good soccer handicappers. So check that out. Those plays will be $5. And of course, the three guys you see on the screen will all have $5 plays. I put mine up right before the show started. So I've got one locked in. I'm sure Tokyo Brandon's got something. I know Brian will have something as well. We'll talk about yesterday as the show goes on. Today, we're just going to get right into it. Brian, I'm going to come to you first. Feature game tonight, TBS here in the United States is going to give the country Padres Cardinals, which, I kind of agree with. These two teams deserve the spotlight, in my opinion. National TV in the U.S. tends to be Dodgers, Yankees, like every single game. So it's nice to see two teams, really one team in the Cardinals, that's having an exceptional season that maybe doesn't get the shine that they've deserved to this point. So King, Palante, Padres, Cardinals, how you seeing this one?
Yeah, the Cardinals basically about a 110 favorite, up to 118 right now with a total of 8. I did use a free play yesterday against the Cardinals. I just thought the line was really high, and it was for the first time really that I thought the Cardinals were a team that maybe didn't have the value they had earlier in the season. I made so much money on them, and that was my only loser. It was a free play. I went either 3-0 or 4-0 yesterday, depending on if you listed pitchers. They did have the Detroit changed pitchers right before the game. So, a really nice day for us, which either puts us at 6-0 the last 2 days or 7-0 if you don't list them. I always list my starting pitchers, 90% of the time. So, 6-0 for us. But it's been on a nice run. But this one here, I prefer King in this game. But we are not getting the value that I kind of saw yesterday with San Diego. So with a strong card today, it's probably not a game I'm going to get involved in. I'm just wanting to let everybody know that the value that I saw in St. Louis earlier in the season they're starting to pay for it a little bit now. Not meaning that they're not going to win. It just means I didn't see the value. I haven't seen the value that we had earlier in the year, and it took them a long time to catch up. But I think the lines are pretty solid in this one.
There's definitely not as much line value as yesterday, but I still see some value in the Padres here. TB, I'll bring you in. I make the Padres a slight favorite. So before we came on the show, and you could still get plus 102, plus 103. I don't know if it's enough value to get me to the window, but I'm certainly looking at the Padres. So Padres, Cardinals to you. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, $5 Tuesday. Everything on WagerTalk.com is either $5 or free, except 5% plays. Last night I lost my 5% on the Angels, but I went 2-2, and my other plays were 4%, so kind of broke even. KBO, I went 3-0 tonight, and I won my Japanese baseball. So it was a 4-0 Asian baseball sweep, and those were all 4% plays, I think. So plus profit. Hate to lose the 5%ers. I was on the Angels, and they just look like garbage. So let's get to this game. St. Louis and the Padres. I'm actually going against both of you guys. I like the Cardinals here. Looking at my rankings, the Cardinals are better than the Padres at everything, including hitting, bullpen, and I have Palante ranked higher than King. So looking at the head-to-head stats, though, both pitchers, Palante has a decent sample size, a 194 average against with a 568 OPS. I don't think the Padres are going to score very much on him. And King also a 148 average against a 493 OPS. I think an under would be in play here instead of a side. I think an under might be a better, safer play, in my opinion. Padres, like I've said, they're my kryptonite, man. Every time I back them, they lose, and every time I go against them, they win. So, but if I had to pick a side, I like the Cardinals actually, but I really like the under in the first 5, especially.
Yeah, I guess we're going to talk about kryptonite. Palante from the Cardinals seems to get me anytime I try to go against him. Um, it looks like on paper it looks like he should be more beatable than he is. But then anytime I try to go against him, he gets me. Last time out, I played against him with the Mets. He goes quality start, 6 innings, 2 runs on 3 hits. Was in complete control of that game. He just executes his pitches and he goes out and suddenly. I mean, listen, it's not to say that like a good offense won't get him, but he executes his pitches and you're watching the game. Suddenly it's the 6th inning. He's still out there. He's only given up a run or two. And it's really, if you look up and down, he's done it all season. Throw out the Cubs start all season, 5-6 innings. He's in the game. There's really only a couple times he's been hit hard. Again, I still show reasons to bet against him, but I can't. We're getting to the point now. We're in mid-June where you can't just like deny what's happened to this point in the year. Michael King to me is still like I think he has big time upside, sort of relative to like he had a really bad spring. So if you remember, he got crushed in the spring. Came into the season, he looked awful in spring training. A lot of people were down on him. And, so far, he's sort of bounced back, 3.46 ERA, 1.15 whip. You look at his, I look at doesn't give up a ton of hard hit, keeps the ball on the ground. Like, I like Michael King. So I'm looking at the starting pitching. Michael King is who I think is the superior option. And I'm still looking to sell the Cardinals. I still think that this team has played as good as they could possibly play to this point in the year. They're 39-31. I'm not saying they trend all the way back to being a 500 team, but I do think that this is probably as good as it gets, like 8 games over 500. They're 2-3 over their last 3 games. Again, Brian, you're right. Last night, from a value standpoint, getting that like plus 130 on the Pirates in what was arguably like a similar matchup was definitely better value. I still think there's value in the Padres plus money. This has not made my card yet, but it's certainly in contention. TB, I'm with you. I seem to never get the Padres right either, but I'm pretty sure they're the better team. Like, I think you're going to see that over the next month and a half. Revisit it. I think you'll see the Padres being superior to the Cardinals, and so I think it's a buy low of sorts. I like the Padres here.
Can I take 5 seconds and just give some betting advice to people?
Absolutely.
The line right now is 4.5 to the under in the first 5. And also the Cardinals team total first 5 is 2.5. I think both of those might be decent bets.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with either of those. And like, again, I'll just make the point I guess I wanted to make here, which I want to make sure I make, is the Padres. I don't think they've really played as good as they can play this year yet. They're still 37-34. They're still very much in the mix. Whereas I think the Cardinals have shown you their best already. And these two teams are still relatively even. That's what, like, Padres will be probably a play on for the next 5-6 weeks. And I'll probably be looking to fade the Cardinals, which is the only way I would play it here. So, I'm going to keep that one in my back pocket. Don't know if I'm going to put that one in the parlay. There's other, like Brian said, a lot of good games today, other stuff to talk about. So we'll get to some other ones and see what pops up. All right, let's, well, you know what? I'm just going to throw out the game. I think I'm going to make my parlay leg right now. And maybe we'll talk about it and then we'll see if I still feel that way. I played the Marlins yesterday, and that was my only play for clients. Took the Marlins plus 1.5, got ahead of a little bit of a move. We talked about that yesterday. That can be frustrating. You beat the market, you're feeling good, and get shoved in your face. Phillies end up winning 7-0. People are chirping me on the Bird app on Twitter. And listen, like, this is another thing. You have like so many like handicappers, and there's even some on this site that like sell baseball plays that just don't watch the games. Like, I just don't understand how you think you're going to beat this sport unless you're watching baseball constantly. And here's why. So Marlins yesterday, we talked about it on the show. Ryan Gusto is the quote unquote starter. I said, I hope they lean on their bullpen. I hope they go to their bullpen and make it sort of a bullpen game. This is the scenario that happened in that game. And Brian, I'm going to come to you to let you sort of unpack this with me. Okay. Gusto ends up being the starter. There's a situation in like the second or third inning where they get William Kempner up. And I'm thinking, oh, this is great. That's who I wanted. That's the guy I want in the game. I think that they're going to bring him in to face Rincones, who hit the solo home run an inning earlier. Well, Sanoja, the third baseman, makes a mental error. He got a ball hit to him, easy force out at third base. He tried to turn a double play, and the runner beat him to second. So instead of having first and second with 2 outs, it turned into bases loaded, 1 out. You could see the Marlins manager top step of the dugout. He's not sure what he wants to do now, leaves Gusto in. So Gusto gets a ground ball. It ends up being a sacrifice. A run comes in. Now it's 2-0. Now he's like, crap, I kind of want him to finish the inning because I don't know if I want to burn a reliever down 2-0. He gives up a hit. Now it's 3-0. At that point, now you're down 3-0 and you got Zach Wheeler on the other side, which the Marlins had a chance to beat early and didn't. They had first and second no outs. They had 2 runners on in the second inning, didn't get to him. Now it's 3-0. Game plan changes. Now you're like, wait, we got Tyler Phillips tomorrow. We might need to use a bullpen game tomorrow. They ask Gusto for length. They leave him out there. He gets crushed. The Marlins lose big. One little play right there, and that whole game changed. I think they were going to do what I thought they were going to do. Things change. That happens sometimes in the game. Why did I just go on this sort of long, drawn-out intro to this game? Because I now think they're going to do what I thought they were going to do yesterday. I think they've got Phillips, and I think they're going to break it up with all the top bullpen arms here because I think they're going to think they have a better chance to win this game. So because of that, I'm looking at the Marlins. Brian, does any of that make sense to you, or am I just crazy and I don't know?
No, it makes a lot of sense. And I kind of like Philadelphia, or excuse not Philadelphia. I kind of like Miami here. I talked yesterday, the Cubs and the Phillies had both basically the same numbers. They were both big favorites. The Cubs had to pull it out at the last minute, which bad teams lose at the last minute. But Philadelphia won the entire game, and that was one of our plays as we gave out a rare big favorite, and I thought there was a lot of value in it. But now I kind of like the underdog in this one. You take a look at what has been done for Tyler Phillips. His last 3 starts, he's gone 74 pitches. Last start, he went 70 pitches. He's a guy that's stretched out. I expect him to go 5 innings here. And if you take a look at the bullpen, you mentioned it, they didn't have to use any big bullpen arms yesterday. And in fact, the day before, Fairbanks went for 14 pitches and Faucher went for 16. So they're in really good shape for that kind of a game. We get 5 good innings out of the starter today, and I think Miami's in really good shape. And when you're taking a look at Luzardo, he's still very inconsistent. I don't know if I want Philadelphia in this game. Yesterday, they had that big lead. Everything worked out well for them. And now you're laying a 170 to 175 range here on them against Miami with a total of 8. And I don't think the starting pitcher matchup is that different. In fact, one of the sites that I use, they think in the first 5 innings that Miami is going to outscore Philadelphia. And that would not surprise me. So I kind of like the underdog here in the full game. I kind of like the underdog in the first 5. I think the line's too high here. Philadelphia is still a team that has been struggling for hitting. They're only getting a few guys every once in a while. They're hitting the home runs. But other than that, and their shortstop got hit by a pitch. So we don't know if he's going to be in the game. So, I think the underdog, Miami, is a pretty good bet either way you look at it in this game. That's the side that I would prefer.
Yeah, great point there, Brian. Trey Turner, I believe, left that game yesterday with maybe like a hand injury or something like that. No Spranos. I think you were a day early, Trig. TB, certainly the way yesterday played out makes me think I was a day early. Phillies, Marlins, how are you seeing this one?
Yeah, it's $5 Tuesday, guys. Everything at WagerTalk.com is $5. My $5 play is out. Adams is out, and Brian's will be out. So grab a $5 play. Everything is $5 or free. Someone said we're promoting too much, so I'm going to do it every time it's my turn. Regarding this game, I wouldn't bet against Wheeler, but as my mom said, as Carol Brady said, don't bet against Jesus. But I think today it might be okay to bet against Jesus because despite his really good numbers against the Marlins here, I have the Marlins better than Philadelphia in hitting, and I got Phillips ranked higher than Jesus. But the sample size is small. We don't really know, like Brian said, how deep he's going to go, but he has gone mid 70s in his pitch count. Luzardo probably will go deeper because he's a bona fide starter. So a little bit of uncertainty there, but look, the Phillies have only won 3 games more than the Marlins. They're not that much better. You got to cover the logos and look at how the teams are playing right now. And Miami's a really well put together team, although they don't have the star power that Philadelphia has. So yeah, I would agree with you guys, but again, sorry to sound like a broken record, but I like the under on this one better than I like a side, because both pitchers I think can handle the other lineups, and neither lineup is really ranked that high. They're both kind of mediocre, toiling in mediocrity. So yeah, I would go on with an under in this one probably rather than a side.
I'm going to give out 2 bets right now. One, I'm going to use the Marlins in the parlay. I'm going to take the +1.5. I'm going to run it back last night. Someone in there was like, yeah, I'm getting heat for betting against Wheeler yesterday. Listen, typically to get a +1.5 and get it at the price I got it yesterday, you sort of, typically you're going to oppose someone pretty good. I thought the Marlins might get to Wheeler. Like I said, they had their chance. They couldn't break through, and then the game kind of fell apart. You're going to have to pay more here. So what I'm hoping that happens throughout the day, I'd love for the Phillies to take some money. I doubt it'll happen. If it does, this is 100% hitting my client card. But for the parlay, I'm going to use Marlins +1.5. What is it right now, Brian? I'm just curious of what it is right now.
-142.
Yeah.
The Joes are probably all going to bet Philadelphia. So they're
that's what I'm saying. Listen, that's what I'm saying. I think if Philly takes money because people don't really know about Phillips, and again, Brian, you're right. He can go up. The important point to note here is the Marlins don't have to push him that third time through if they don't want to. They have so many different options. It's a bullpen that right now I have graded out as like a top 5 bullpen in baseball. Right now, I think they have one of the top 5-6 bullpens in Major League Baseball. The other bet I'm going to give out right now, shop around. Marlins are 7-1 to make the playoffs. You heard it right here. June 16th, the Marlins are going to make the playoffs. How do you like that? They've got Yuri Perez coming back. They have so many options in their system. They just promoted a kid named Carson Milbrandt to AAA. He's going to be really good. Other guys are going to get healthy. I think the Marlins are way better than they're getting credit for, and I think that's worth a sprinkle. So there's a future play for you. 7-1. I see +650. I bet you might be able to find +750. That's just to make the playoffs. I think that's really good. Did anyone have a problem with that? 7-1 shot in the Marlins to make the playoffs?
I have a future that Miami's going to win 72 games. I'm feeling kind of good about that. I might as well cash it now. But no, I think they could make the playoffs. If a wild card is okay, yeah, I think they could.
Yeah, no, that is literally just to make the playoffs. They don't need to win a division. They need to squeak in there in one of those final wild card spots. Razor
together team.
We'll see you. I'll see you in September. We can revisit this. I think the Marlins are going to make the playoffs. I think they have so many high upside pieces. There's a lot of guys hitting the ball. Oh, but the best stat I saw, and part of the reason I wanted to go against Wheeler yesterday, so far they're the only team in Major League Baseball to beat Skeens, Mizorowski, and Ohtani this season. It's not bad.
Can I make a quick statement?
Not bad. They're beating good pitching. Go ahead, TB.
Add to what you're saying, Adam. Sorry to cut you off. But I was looking over Max Meyer and Skeens yesterday, and if you cover up their names, their stats are almost identical.
Yeah, Max Meyer is money. He's awesome.
He's awesome.
Great.
And if you cover the name, you wouldn't know if it's Skeens or not. I mean, and nobody.
Go ahead, Brian. Brian, go ahead.
22-20 against better than 500 ball clubs this year. There's not too many teams that have that kind of record in their division. Washington is 21-19, and Atlanta is 20-14. So they've been very good. The Cubs are only 20-20. So yeah, Miami's doing well against good teams.
Zach says they're 9-8. Yeah, see, that's why I said shop around. Plus 980 on FanDuel. My God, go rush over there and play that right now.
Put 25 or $50 on that.
They're gonna listen
right now.
Just
they're gonna trade Agustin Ramirez. They're probably gonna trade it. Someone's gonna pay for Agustin Ramirez because he can hit. Like, there's a team that will absolutely take him and one of their pitching prospects because Joe Mack is the catcher of the future. They suddenly don't have much of a use for Ramirez. I think they're going to flip him into something good. So yeah, that is a again, got a little off the rails here, but I really think that's a good bet to have in your portfolio going forward. And Marlins plus 1.5. We'll pin down a price by the end of the show that will be my parlay leg, and it's something that I will look to to maybe get on if the price gets better throughout the day. Okay. All right, Jeremiah. Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about Astros and Tigers. Very interesting pitching matchup. Framber Valdez, Brian, against his old team. He was shocked they didn't re-sign him. Yet he throws 100 at his catcher to cross him up, and he wonders why the organization did not re-sign him. Maybe things are a little personal for him in this one. Astros Tigers. How do you see this one?
Yeah, I played the over yesterday and had no problem with that one as they got to the number. And I think the first 5 I talked about in this ballpark, the barrels are very high. So always looking for home runs here. Valdez, the lefty against Brown. This is an interesting handicap, not only because of Valdez coming back to Houston and what happened there yesterday, but Hunter Brown, first game back from his injury, and he's back sooner than what a lot of people thought he was going to be. There was some talk at one point that he was going to be out for the entire season. So that's a boost that this Houston pitching staff really needs. Right now, he's about a 155 favorite with a total of 8. There are some 7.5s out there, so 7.34, as you say. TB would say too many unknowns in this one. Yes, I know that the Houston players are going to want to make him pay, but also he wants to make the Houston team pay for not signing him again. So that's a little bit of an unknown, and Brown's first game back is a little bit of an unknown. I will say that I don't know if I could lay the number because Detroit's playing really good ball right now. Houston's hitting well. They're not getting the pitching there, although they do have their bullpen set up for the first time pretty much all year now. So I'd expect that to be better. But the total in this one is 7.5. And I don't know. Yesterday it was like 9. And is Valdez pitching ace quality right now? Is Brown first game back ace quality? I'd be interested in the over here. We're getting 7.5 here at -1. I see a 115, but mostly -25 to get 8 runs in this ballpark. And these are guys that are being charged as being aces. And I just don't think they're going to be aces in this game. So I kind of like the over again.
TB, Astros, Tigers. How you seeing this one?
Yeah, it looks like Ski's out of bed early.
Or he didn't go to bed yet. You never know with him. You never know. Ski might still be up.
Yeah, he's still young, so he can do that. If I haven't mentioned, it's $5 Tuesday. Everything at WagerTalk's $5 are free. Go to wagertalk.com. I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. I like the Tigers. I know Brown is a good pitcher, and Brown is a guy who I have an elite status, like Mizrowski kind of status, when he's on and when he's on a roll, but he's not on a roll right now. So I think he's vulnerable. In his 2 starts this season, he walked 4 and he walked 2. And Valdez, like Brian said, these guys, when they get traded or cut, they carry that stuff. They remember who did it. Believe me, Valdez, probably the most hated guy in MLB. He's even hated by his teammates. There's something to be said about having that chip on your shoulder, and it's like me against the world, like the Trevor Bauer, the Framber Valdez kind of guys. They're usually pretty talented. You don't really see crappy pitchers who have attitudes like that. Usually they're pretty good. I think Detroit has the better bullpen. I think Detroit has the better hitting. So I think the wrong team's favored here. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, TB. Oh, for real quick, I just got to shout my guy Ski Out, he says he's up early today. He said up early this time. Ski just had a great NBA season that just wrapped up. Listen, if you guys are interested in money, you don't have to be interested in the league, but like he's probably going to crush WNBA all summer. Like he's very tuned into that league. If you just want to win bets, I would check out his WNBA. Again, I'm not sitting here and saying you have to, grind out a Valkyries game and watch it, because I probably wouldn't do that. But it's a great way to make money. So shout out to Ski. I'm sure he's going to have WNBA all summer. And just real quick, TB, I want to wrap this one up. I agree with you. I said this maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm not really betting against the Tigers right now. I thought that when they got Glaber back and they got Kerry Carpenter back, it really improved their team. I think they've played better. Brian, I'm going to come to you. The last thing I'll say, I just want to answer the question of someone in the chat that asked how long is Hunter Brown going to go. I think pretty standard. He made his last 2 starts were down at Sugarland. 5 innings in both of them, looked pretty good. Like I don't think that this is going to be like an abbreviated start. I think he's probably out there to do his normal job. The Astros have been dying for him to come back. He's huge for them. I think they gave him that last start at Sugarland to make sure that when he came back, it was a full go. So I think you see regular Hunter Brown, but as much as I think he could be good, I'm not betting against the Tigers either right now. Brian, what did you have to add to that?
Yeah, you mentioned Glaber Torres. Swung a little hard yesterday. Looks like he may have twisted himself a little bit and strained his ribcage area, so he will not be in the lineup today. It's somewhat of a blow here for the Tigers. We're starting to get everybody back, but yeah, he left yesterday early on, and I would definitely not expect him to be in the lineup today.
Yeah, that's a great point, and certainly would make it, if he's going to be away for any considerable amount of time, that's tough, because I felt like the Tigers' little run that they've been on has sort of coincided with him returning. Always thought he was an underrated player that didn't fully get the credit he deserved. So that would be a tough blow if he's not in the lineup, which it doesn't sound like he's going to be tonight. All right, let's head back to the chat. Let's see. This is a nice comment. Let's bring this one up. Very much agree here. Adam Pud, it's another Adam. We'll go with that. Says, I just want to say thank you, Brian, for your A's pick. You're a very knowledgeable handicapper and a wonderful person. We echo that's very kind. Very kind. We echo that sentiment. And yeah, that A's pick. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's that might. I was going to say, are you on your burner in the chat right now? But no, I think that's just a guy that we echo.
Typing in.
Yeah. She's still at bed. She's flying back to Cleveland today, so yeah, she needs all the rest she needs. She doesn't care about me. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, hey, listen, he's a wonderful person, and that was a great pick last night. The A's, no doubter, against the Pirates. Brian, let's talk about this game real quick, because the Pirates, man, they're a team that they're in a little trouble. This was a team, I just gave out my Marlins future that I really like at that price. I did sort of play some Pirates correlated stuff at the beginning of the season, was feeling good about it until like the last couple weeks, but I just don't like where this team is at right now. Connor Griffin gets hurt. Suddenly this lineup's not producing the way that they've been. Jared Jones really hasn't looked good since coming back. I'm not feeling it with the Pirates right now. Do you go back to the well with the A's again here? I don't know. I don't hate that idea.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Jack Perkins. Couldn't wait for him to get on the team. I saw him pitch down here in Vegas. I really liked him, but he has yet to show that he is a major league pitcher. He's like a quad A pitcher at this point. Do I want to lay the 135 with him on the mound? Probably not. Mitch Keller's going for Pittsburgh. He'd been better at home than on the road this year, and he hasn't been pitching that well. Now that Pittsburgh got somewhat used to, and I may have said there was altitude. It's not altitude in Sacramento. It's just that the ball still travels better. out here with the Heat, and they're in Sacramento. I went to the series last year when Cleveland played the Athletics, and it was really hot the entire time. So if I did say altitude, I was mistaken. I didn't mean that. So it's basically sea level there, but it does have high scoring games, and we're getting in a 10.5 total right now with the total going about 120. That would be the way I would look at this. Is I don't trust Keller at all. The Athletics bats have been hitting really well. Obviously, they played here in Vegas against Colorado, but they hit pretty well against Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's got one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. So they're hitting the ball really well right now. I think they'll get to Keller, but it would not surprise me if Pittsburgh joins in on the fun offensively against Perkins. Really liked him, but he hasn't lived up to it right now. So if I'm going to play this one, you get 11 runs, you get a win. That may be the way I take a look at this one is I don't want to go against the Athletics. They're hitting very well right now, and a lot of it has to do with the ballparks they've been playing in. But, yeah, the over is probably, at this point, it may not be a game I'm interested in today, but if I had to play it, that would be the side that I would look, would be the more runs in this one.
Yeah, Tokyo Brandon, I went back, I saw the comments about that yesterday, and it doesn't, at the big league level, this is still a small ballpark that is offensive friendly. The ball gets out of there. As Brian said, if you're talking in the context of the PCL, well, yeah, it's more of a pitcher friendly park in the PCL when you've got Albuquerque, Reno, Salt Lake, El Paso all playing at altitude. But in the majors, this is still going to be one of the more offensive friendly parks. Maybe not as offensive friendly as Las Vegas ballpark, but definitely one of the more offensive friendly parks in the majors. I'll comment on Jack Perkins real quick. I'm not ready to give up on him yet. I still think he's got pretty nasty stuff. He gets his strikeouts. Fastball's good, 90, probably sits 96, 97. To me, still a lot to like about Perkins, but he is still sort of raw at this level. Have never been a huge fan of Keller, so I was leaning the A's, but didn't really love the price. Thought that the books kind of got to this one, made it what it should be. So TB, Mitch Keller, Jack Perkins, Pirates, A's. How are you seeing it?
$5 Tuesday, guys. Go to WagerTalk.com. Everything's $5 or free. Who would you rather see dressed like me, Andy Lang or Adam Trigger? That's the question. I'll send my coat and my hat to one of those two guys. Which one should it be? Let's get to this game. Look, I like the A's in every aspect. The A's are hitting much better than the Pirates, and their bullpen is a lot better than the Pirates right now as well. The problem is Mitch Keller has amazing stats against these batters in his career, a 195 average against and a 726 OPS. The OPS, not quite as shiny as the batting average, but that batting average is pretty amazing. I think Mitch Keller can hold the A's down. But Perkins is an X factor to me a little bit. 6+ ERA, and I don't know much about him. So I think I would just eliminate that portion and maybe take an A's team total under in the first 5. That might be the way I would go. I haven't looked at the numbers and I haven't played it yet. I do have a play out for $5 Tuesday, but that's not it. But if I were to play this, I would say first 5, team total for the A's under, because I think Keller can probably handle them for 5.
Yeah, it's tough. The A's they swing it a lot, right? They're very sweet, free swinging team. That really, I think 1 through 9. If you've kind of follow what they've done at the minor league level and the way that they've sort of built their farm system, they have so many guys that can just put the bat on the ball. Like that is like the type of guy that they've gone out and got the last couple of years. So I guess that's, Mitch Keller comes in with he's bottom 15% whiff rate, strikeout rate. It's not that he gives up a ton of hard hit, but he doesn't really get a ton of swing and miss. That's my concern here for him is that this A's lineup can pinball him around a little bit. And if some of those balls are finding green grass or finding the outfield seats, he could be in trouble. Whereas Perkins has that 6.25 ERA at the big league level. But again, I mean, if you've watched him pitch, he was awesome in Vegas. Phenomenal when he was down at AAA. He's still got the strikeout stuff. So I'm just like waiting for him to put one together. And I don't think it's crazy to think it's here against a Pirates team that hasn't hit a ton lately. So again, I lean the A's, but they kind of got me off with that price. I think, where's this right now, Brian? Like minus 140, something like that. That was higher than I would want to pay for.
Can I add a quick caveat? Be careful betting unders. I know I'm putting out a lot of opinions on unders, but the weather is starting to heat up and hot weather is conducive to more runs. I've been losing my unders client plays recently, and I have a feeling it's because things are getting warmer out. So be careful betting unders. That's just a little friendly advice.
Just the chat saying they say I want no part of wearing that outfit on the show. I didn't say I would not wear it. I just need I just need
you absolutely did, Adam.
Yeah, it's too bad because my play won yesterday in that game. The Rockies covered the 1.5 even though I got chirped for all day on that. I didn't hear no one is I got nothing but flack for that Rockies plus 1.5 yesterday. It wins, and now no one anywhere to be found. It's funny how that works.
Exactly. It is funny how that happens. I won the A's along with Brian. I was pretty happy about that. But yeah, when you lose, you get about 10 comments, and when you win, it's like crickets. It's so funny.
Let me get to my parlay bet.
Yeah, go ahead. I was
late here.
Yeah, go ahead. Brian.
Okay. I'm going to take a look at the Baltimore-Seattle game. Young has been very impressive for Baltimore. Seattle's going with Gilbert. Seattle had yesterday off, so that helped them with their bullpen. And I really like the Seattle bullpen, although they haven't performed as consistently this year, especially out of Munoz. But I do like the Seattle bullpen. Gilbert at home, I've talked a lot about this is a pitcher's ballpark, and we're getting two pitchers that I really like here in Young and Gilbert. Gilbert, when he pitches at home, doesn't get a lot of run support, but he pitches very well. So they tend to go under when he is at home. We're looking at a total of about 150 right now, with a total of 7.5, slightly to the under 115. The under is where I want to go here. Is Baltimore is a good hitting team when they're playing in Baltimore. That's a pretty good hitting ballpark. But I don't know if I can see that same thing coming into Seattle. There will be a change in Seattle. They're bringing back their power hitting catcher. He's coming back. He's supposed to join the team again today. That'll help their offense. But he really, from what I could tell, is still struggling offensively. They're bringing him back because he's an Aussie. He's a great player. So he'll be back today for Seattle. But Rosarina missed the last two games before the day off yesterday. Keep that in mind. He may not play. It's 6 a.m. in the morning out here in Vegas. So all these games, by the way, are on the night card today. So we've got plenty of time to get to these numbers and the numbers we're looking for. So no need to take a bad number now. Just wait and see where the numbers go. But I kind of like the under here. I think Baltimore in this stadium, I don't trust their offense. And I like both starting pitchers. And from a bullpen standpoint, they should be in pretty good shape today. So we're going to play the under 7.5. I'm seeing it. Let's just go minus 115 out there. There's some a little better. Some a little worse. At 120 is the worst I see. But Baltimore, Seattle, under 7.5, minus 115. That'll be my show play today. And hopefully it'll do as well as yesterday's.
TB, anything for you in Orioles, Mariners?
Yes. Taking a look at this, I'll make it kind of quick because we're going to have to do one more leg of the parlay. But I got the Orioles hitting better than the Mariners, and I got the Orioles bullpen ranked top 10. Looking at Young and Gilbert, they both have really good stats against the batters they're facing today, especially Gilbert. I totally agree with Brian on an under, but Freebird just asked about a team total in the chat. Very loyal guy watching our show. We appreciate it. I would take a Seattle Mariners team total under in this one. I would make it my parlay leg, but Brian's already used this game, so I will pick something else. But I don't think Seattle is going to score very much. That Baltimore bullpen is looking really good to me.
Yeah. First of all, we started a couple minutes late today. We're only at minute 39 of the show. We're not going anywhere. We got plenty of time left. I don't have a ton to add to this one because, again, I'm pro. I'm very pro Mariners. I've said it for weeks. I really like this Mariners team. Have really had not much of a desire to bet against them. But the market, now that they've won a little bit, the value has quickly dried up on playing the Mariners on a day-to-day basis. We had our chance to do that a couple of weeks ago. We cashed doing that, and now you're pretty much being forced to pay a pretty good premium to back the Mariners, especially when they're at home, especially when they have someone like Logan Gilbert on the mound. So I think the only way to look at it, for me, would be the total, and I can't really disagree with Brian's total. So TB, I am going to come to you to close down the parlay, but I want to highlight a couple of comments. So listen, this is great. This is great criticism right here. Great feedback. So Dallas Love says, Adam, you say you watch baseball, which I know is true. I suggest you watch the Cardinals more and you'll be more impressed with the team. Their position players are excellent. Their defense is elite. I don't disagree with any of that. You're absolutely right. I mean, they have so much good young talent. I guess what I'm saying is I'm just taking a position today that going forward, they're young guys, right? They just called up Blaze Jordan, JJ Weatherholt. Still, a lot of young guys are starting to get into June and July. Can they keep it up into the summer months, into the dog days? Is Jordan Walker Mickey Mantle reincarnated? I guess he is. I don't know. But for me, I don't know. I'm taking a position they regress a little bit. Hey, I could be wrong. That's the thing. We could be wrong. I'm not saying that's a great comment. We'll see. But I wanted to say that is a great piece of feedback right there. I think that's just good. It was a good comment. So I wanted to bring it up. Tokyo Brandon, I'm going to you. Freebird says, great show. Best team total plays today. We need your parlay leg. If you want to throw him a team total play, go ahead. But we want to know what you're using to close out the parlay.
You guys in the comments are cracking me up. We have the best audience at WagerTalk of all the shows, man. Forget football. Our audience is the best. You guys are cracking me up. So my parlay leg is going to be in the Angels Diamondbacks game. This just bit me on the behind yesterday. I had the Angels, and they look very listless. But today, look, Reed Detmers is probably the most overlooked pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. Him and Max Myers. Of 250 starting pitchers, I've got Reed Detmers ranked 6. And I don't know if he's that good or not, but my numbers are absolutely kissing this guy's feet. They love him. Yesterday, I liked the Angels yesterday. I like the Angels today. Look, the Angels are hitting 7. The Diamondbacks are hitting 29. Bullpen, Angels 14, Diamondbacks 16. So Reed Detmers, if you add to that the fact that they have the number 6 pitcher in all of MLB going today, and the fact that Merrill Kelly is kind of over the hill. I mean, he's washed, in my opinion. So whenever I trash talk someone like this, they come out and he's going to pitch a shutout tomorrow. But in my opinion, I think the Angels are just, despite the record, behind Detmers, I think it's Angels or nothing. So that's going to be my leg of the parlay.
And that's just Angels full game, TB, is what you're looking at?
Yes, sir.
Brian, any thoughts, Angel? Brian's going to give us the line right now, and he's also going to give us any thoughts on Angels Diamondbacks that he has.
Yeah, this game is basically a pick 'em. I would say minus 105 for the Angels. I agree with Detmers, but I would probably play this in the first half. Let me see what we're getting here. Yeah, you're laying about 15 cents more with them in the first half, so maybe that's not the value I thought it was. Kelly is pitching a lot better now than he did earlier in the season. He's still a guy that's not going to strike anybody out, and that's the problem you have in this pretty good hitter's ballpark, is you're not going to get the strikeouts. So the Angels will put, even though the Angels do strike out a lot, they'll probably put the ball in play more than Arizona will, because Detmers does have the ability to strike some people out. I kind of like the Angels too. I just didn't see the value in the number as much. If I could have gotten 110 back, and we may still see it as the day goes on, if I can get a 110 back plus 110 as opposed to minus 105, I may join you on that with the Angels.
Yeah, TB, I think we're both a day early. I think, Marlins will play better today than they did yesterday. Angels will probably get it done today after falling just short yesterday. Listen, I don't, I know yesterday, which I told you off air that I very much agreed with your Angels call. And
Yep.
I think you just were a little bit unlucky to end up on the wrong side of a good game. 4-3 Arena. I know you liked him. He went 7 innings, 3 earned. I thought he pitched pretty good. Typically you go 7 innings, give up 3 earned runs. Your team has a pretty good chance to win that game. It just didn't work out for them. They lost a tough one, 4-3, but he saved the bullpen. And here's where I actually think the Angels bullpen has more upside than they're getting credit for at this point. So a couple things they did. First, they called up Sammy Natera is one of their younger guys who's been very good. And then they've got kind of like a big 3 now that they're putting into these games, late in games. That's not half bad. Chase Silseth has been solid. His ERA is under 2. The game that I had on Friday, Angels on Friday for my 5% play, Mitch Ferris came in and pitched great. And they just kind of let him go. So he's a lefty. I don't think they really planned on giving him 3 innings, but I think they looked around and said, hey, he had really good stuff. Let's run him back out there. And so they don't have defined roles. I think Zephyr is going to be better than he's been. I loved him when he was in the Red Sox organization. I thought that they sort of hit a home run on that trade. He just hasn't been quite as good yet, but I think he's still got upside. And then, like Kirby Yates should probably be better than he's been. He's been a little bit better of late. I'm just saying, like, this is not the terrible Angels bullpen of the last couple of years. So yeah, I think you're on the right side here, TB.
I lost that game. Everything about my cap was accurate except the fact I didn't expect Nelson to come out and look like Tom Seaver. He pitched amazing, and he's not an amazing pitcher. So that killed my bet, basically.
Yeah, and they should. I mean, theoretically, the Angels should have a better chance at generating offense against Merrill Kelly than they do Ryan Nelson, in my opinion. I'm still sort of anti-Kelly as well. I think he's someone that you want to fade. So TB, I like the call there. That brings us to the end of the show. Remember, $5 Tuesday. I've got a play up for $5. The boys will have plays up as well. The site, World Cup, all the other sports that are going on. Plenty of $5 plays on the WagerTalk site, so go check that out. Also, check out the double play package. You can get 2 of the handicappers you see on the screen at a large discount for a 3-day stretch. It's a great promo that I believe we're running all season. And there's some really good month of June long-term specials as well. We got to hit this parlay today. 2 out of 3 yesterday. Feel like that's happened to us quite a few times of late. So let's lock in. And this one, I believe, just kind of doing the math in my head, would probably put us at about even, maybe up a little bit on the year if we can hit it. So I'm going to go with Marlins plus 1.5. Brian, is that still minus 142?
Let me take a look here. Yeah, you can get as low as 140. I'm seeing as high as 154, but 142, I would say, would be pretty much the average.
Perfect. So we'll go with Marlins plus 1.5. Shop around. Minus 142 is fine for that. Bryan Leonard is going to go Orioles, Mariners under 7.5, minus 115. And Tokyo Brandon's going with the Angels, minus 105. That's your 3-teamer for today. That is your show. The 3 of us will see you in the morning for more Total Basis. Have a great day, everybody.